Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Sejanus, his fall, and we get to hear from Silius today in Act 1, Scene 2. Now, it's not entirely clear when Silius and Aruntius and Cordua and Sabinus all enter, but they do seem to be watching at least the most recent action from over to the side. We started the scene, if you remember, with Sejanus talking to Eudemus, trying to get Eudemus to dish on some of the women that he is a physician to, and Eudemus was very hesitant about it, but Sejanus was persistent and was eventually like, okay, you need to go woo Livia for me, and he sends him off. But at the end of yesterday's monologue, we have Sejanus sort of twisting his mustache and revealing his evil plot that he wants to get into Livia's good graces so then he can find out Drusus's secrets and use those to blackmail him. Livia is Drusus's wife, Drusus is the emperor's son. So this is part of a plot that Sejanus has to raise his status within the government. But then, he sort of reveals this to the audience, but then Tiberius comes in with his whole train of people, and he's like, I wish people would stop flattering me all the time. This isn't fun, this isn't good, and blah, blah, blah. And his team hands him letters. He has some letters from members of the Senate that he needs to read, and he's like, I'm a servant of the Senate. I wish that people would just treat me as such, and wouldn't things be better that way, and all of that. And the peanut gallery over here, I'm referring to as the peanut gallery, Aruntius, Cordua, Silius, that crew, they're like, actually, that's kind of a good answer to this whole thing. And Silius says, if this man had but a mind allied unto his words, how blessed a fate were it to us and Rome. We could not think that state for which to change, although the aim were our old liberty. The ghosts of those that fell for that would grieve their bodies lived not now again to serve. Men are deceived who think there can be thrall beneath a virtuous prince. Wished liberty ne'er lovelier looks than under such a crown. But when his grace is merely but lip good, and that no longer than he airs himself abroad in public, there to seem to shun the strokes and stripes of flatterers, which within are lechery unto him, and so feed his brutish sense with their afflicting sound, as dead to virtue, he permits himself be carried like a pitcher by the ears to every act of vice. This is the case, deserves our fear, and doth presage the nigh and close approach of blood and tyranny. Flattery is midwife unto prince's rage, and nothing sooner doth help forth a tyrant than that and whisperer's grace, who have the time, the place, the power to make all men offenders. So what Silius is saying here is, wouldn't it be nice if we actually had an emperor, a king, who didn't want to be flattered all the time? This would be the best possible thing for our country. All the people who died to protect our country would wish that they could come back and protect our country again. But he's like, but if he only says things like that to impress people when he's in public, but he still lets these butt kissers flatter him, it feeds this vicious cycle where he just continues to do bad things that they keep suggesting that he do. And he's like, this is why I have this feeling that there's something really bad coming on the horizon. Flattery gets us nowhere when it's coming out of the mouths of people who have ulterior motives. So it's a little bit, it's not that different than what we were hearing from the peanut gallery in Act 1, Scene 1, but along the similar vein, the people in government, the people in power are corrupt, and he doesn't trust it and feels that bad things are on the way. So Aruntius is like, you know what? I'm gonna get up there and I'm gonna tell him to his face that he shouldn't be doing this, and blah, blah. And they're like, hold your horses, Aruntius. We shouldn't go confront him right now. We need to be smarter about this. So he sort of backs down a little bit. And then tomorrow we're gonna get to hear from Tiberius, who has just finished reading the letters from the Senate, we're going to hear what he has to say about what was contained therein. So I will see you tomorrow for that. Mwah.